Hey there, my name is Kelly Dale and I'm owner of Off the Beaded Path. For today's video, these earrings were inspired by one of the ladies who helps us out at the store. Her name is Darlene. And these are cute little beaded beads that you can actually make into a bracelet, earrings, necklace, kind of whatever you want to do with them. I thought they were really, really cute. This is an earring, but I will show you some examples of the bead onto a bracelet, so that way you can kind of see what you can do with them. For the project today, you're going to need 8 6mm rounds. These can be crystals, these can be pearls, these can be gemstones, whatever you want. A lot of the samples that I did were with pearls, just because I think it really dresses them up, but you can use whatever. You're going to need, I believe it's 24mm bicones. You're going to need some size 8 and some size 11 seed beads. And then you're going to need a needle. It's going to take a little less than a yard of thread to do one bead. Okay, so you'll, you may be able to get 2 beads out of it depending on how you cut it. So you're going to need, I'm going to use 6-pound thread for that. And then you're also going to need a head pin, ear hooks, and then I'm using a little bit of chain to dangle down the earring so it's not such of a short earring. If you like a shorter earring, then don't attach the chain and you'll be good to go. But get your materials together and we'll get started. These are the earrings that I lovingly refer to as Darlene Dangles, because they're cute little earrings that dangle. Now, because they're so easy, I had 8 different color combinations. This is a lilac pearl with a amethyst bicone. This one here is the one I'm going to demo for you today. This is using a 6mm clear crystal, and then 4 different colors of bicones. So that's what I'll show for you today. This is a white pearl with a crystal AB bicone and galvanized silver seed beads. I have a pair that are gray pearls with what I call hematite colored bicones. I have a pink pair, and these are one of my favorites. This is a fuchsia, they call it a fuchsia pearl, with the rose alabaster as the bicone. This was the original pair that I ever made. This is using a gray pearl with a, I think that is the, I don't remember what color that is right here at the very moment, but this is the very first Darlene Dangle earring that I made. I originally wrote my pattern with this one. This is a turquoise pearl with a white alabaster or white jade bicone. And then last but not least, I have a pair that I did with the browns. This is a cocoa pearl with a brown bicone, and then I've used an antique copper chain and ear hook for the actual earring. So as you can see, there's lots of different color variations that you can do. But to get started, what you'll want to do is you'll need to thread your needle onto about a yard of thread. Now, like I said, for the sake of being the color difference, I'm going to be showing you this with the multicolored crystals today, just so you can see the different steps that I take for the earrings. I'm using a size 11 silver line crystal, a size 8 silver line crystal, 4mm aqua double AB, 4mm peridot double AB, 4mm rose double AB, 4mm jonquil double AB, and a 4mm violet double AB, and then a 6mm just clear round. Now, to start out, you're going to thread your needle onto your fire line, and you're going to pick up 4 6mm rounds. You want to bring those near the end of the thread, and you're going to tie those 4 beads into a circle. Be careful and try not to get your thread caught up around any of the beads. And once you've got that, you're going to go through one bead next to the knot. It doesn't matter which bead you go through, but whichever one you go through, you have to continue in that direction. Now, bring it in just a little here so you can see it a little better. Here's my 4 beads. Here's the one I just went through. So to start out, I'm going to pick up a blue, a size 8, a pink, oh, I'm sorry, a size 11, a blue, or a 4mm, a size 8 seed bead, a 4mm, and a size 11. So I have a size 11, a 4mm aqua, a size 8, a 4mm rose, and a size 11. I'm going to come back to my original piece. My thread is exiting in this direction. I want to come back around to make a circle, and I'm going to go back through the same bead that I'm coming out of. And when you pull, the beads will lay on the side just like this. You'll want to either flip them upward so that you can see what you're working with. I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to come up through the size 11 and the 4mm aqua right above where my thread is exiting. Should look just like this. The next step is I'm going to pick up one size 8 seed bead and one 4mm bicone. I originally started at this round. I'm going to come to the next round in my circle, and I want to come back through that round to make a circle. So my thread is exiting in this direction, so to finish out my little loop, I'm going to have to come through the round bead in this direction, coming back towards the beads that I just added, and pull. So that now you have 3 bicones on top just like this. You want to take your needle and go up through the 11 and 4mm that you were originally coming out of here. I just realized, let me back up, guys. I left off a little seed bead here. An 8, a 4mm, and then a size 11. I tend to forget those little beads. So if I forget another one, just please look over me. It's just something I forget. Alright, so go up through the 11 and the 4mm that you were originally coming out of. And then on through the 8, the 4mm, and the size 11 that you just added. So the 8, the 4mm, and the 11 that you just added. I started with this round, then I come to this round, so now I'm going to be working with this round. So right now my thread is currently exiting out of the size 11 seed bead, so I'm just going to go right through the next round in the circle. I'm going to pick up a 4mm, a size 11, a 4mm, and a size 8. So an 11, a 4mm, and a size 8. I just added, my last add was the yellow and the size 11. So I'm going to take my needle, I want to come back around so that it makes a little circle. So I'm going to take my needle and go straight down through the 4mm and the size 11 that I added in the previous step. So that when you pull, they go right into place. So now you have another little circle of beads here. Continue on through the 6mm that you were just exiting. I'm going to turn it to where I can see my last 4mm here, or my last 6mm. And I'm going to come up through the 11 and the 4mm that I just added in this last step. I'm going to see if I can zoom in just a little bit more here without it getting too blurry for you guys. Okay. Every bead that you make will have 4 6mm, 4 4mm, and 4 size 8s on it. And you'll have your 4mm and your 8s on each side. So as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 4mm, and I only have 1, 2, 3 size 8 seed beads. So to finish out, I'm going to pick up 1 size 8 seed bead. I'm coming out of the last 4mm that I threaded on, and I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go down through the first 4mm and seed bead that I threaded on to start out the circle with, so that when I pull it, now I have 4 8s, 4 4mm, and 4 6mm. Now you want to stitch through your beads to exit out of a size 8 seed bead, and you're going to go through those size 8 seed beads once more, pulling it tightly, and then stitch down to come out of a size 6mm. Once you've gone all the way around, you can see that the center looks much better. And I went ahead and trimmed my tail to get rid of it. So now you want to exit any 6mm along the outer edge. It does not matter which one. The reason I wanted to show you how to do the multicolored version is so that you'll see how to get each color exactly where it needs to be. If you look here, on my very first loop, I have a rose and an aqua. Now, if you're using, if you're using one solid color, you don't have to worry about it. But if you choose to use multicolors like I did, you'll definitely have to pay attention to what color you picked up where. So I'm going to pick up a size 11, a 4mm, a size 8, a 4mm, and a size 11. So an 11, a 4mm, an 8, a 4mm, and an 11. Just like on the front side, to get started, I want to come back around to make a circle. So I'm going to come right back through the same bead that I'm exiting out of. Now I already have beads on one side, so I'm just going to flip these beads so that they're coming out on the other side. I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to come up through the first 11 and 4mm that I threaded on. So if you hold it like this, I have pink and I have blue, and that's exactly what you want. I'm going to pick up a size 8. My next color in the circle here is a purple. So I'm going to pick up my purple and also a size 11. So I've got an 8, a 4mm, and a size 11. My needle is coming out of the last 4mm that I picked up. I want to, have my circle here around this 6mm. So I'm going to take and come through this 6mm, going in this direction, so that when I pull, now when I hold it like this, my colors are the same. I'm going to continue on through the 11 and 4mm, and then through the 8, the 4mm, and the 11. I'm going to continue on through the next 6mm in the circle, which is this one here. The next color, if I look at it this way, is supposed to be a yellow. So I'm going to pick up an 11, a 4mm, and a size 8. So an 11, a 4mm, and an 8. Here's my last beads that I put on. So I'm going to take my needle, I'm going to go down through the 4mm and the size 11 right below it. To get into position for the next step, I'm going to go through that 6mm that I was just coming out of, and then up through the 11 and 4mm that I just added. So when I look down on it, and again, I'm going to see if I can zoom in here a little bit more for you. You can see I have my 4 6mm, I have my 4 4mm, and then I have 1, 2, 3 size 8 seed beads. So I'm going to pick up one size 8 seed bead, and I'm going to take the needle, and I'm going to doing nothing right now. I'm going to take the needle, and I'm going to come down through the first 4mm and size 11 that I started with. So that way when I pull, now you can see my 4 6mm, my 4 4mm, and my 4 size 8s. I'm going to stitch back up through, go through these size 8s again, and then stitch back down to come out of a 6mm along the edge. Once you've gone around, now both sides should look exactly the same. And if you choose to do a multicolor like I've done, if you turn it like this, all your colors should line up. I have stitched through, and I'm exiting any 6mm along the edge. Doesn't matter which one, you just want to exit one. This is going to be one of the last steps, and on this step, all you're going to be using are your size 11 seed beads. You want to pick up 3 seed beads. You're coming out of one 6mm, and you're going to go straight through the very next 6mm along the edge, so that when you pull, those 3 size 11s kind of make like a little peacoat, and they hide the space in between your crystals so you don't see the thread. So pick up 3 size 11s, go through the very next 6mm along the edge here, three 11s, go through the very next 6mm, and then 3 11s, and go through the very next 6mm. Sorry about that buzz, guys. That was my phone buzzing on the table here. So now, when you look at it forward, it looks like this. When you look at it from the side, it should look like this. You want to take and do a couple of half-hitch knots. So you're going to go up under the thread between 2 beads that are side by side. Leave yourself just a small loop. Stick the needle through the loop and pull. And you want to stitch through the piece, doing a few knots, and then trim your tails. Once I get one beaded bead made, I go ahead and make the second beaded bead, exactly like the first. So that way I can clear away everything that I don't need for the rest of the earrings and then concentrate on finishing them up. I'm going to take a head pin, just a regular head pin. I'm going to thread on a 4mm. I'm going to thread the beaded bead on through the size 8 seed beads. So through the little holes that those size 8 seed beads make. And then I'm going to thread on another 4mm, so that this is what you have. I'm going to take my round nose pliers, and I'm going to grab right above the bead that I just added, and I'm going to turn that wire straight out to a 90-degree angle, just like this. I'm going to come out not even 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to bend the wire back towards itself. I'm going to put the pliers back inside of my loop, and I'm going to take the front wire, or the long piece, and I'm going to bend it back towards the opposite way so that I get a circle. Now before I finish that circle, I'm going to take any length of chain. It doesn't matter what length, completely up to you and your preference. And I'm going to thread my end link of chain through the head pin. Using the round nose pliers to hold the loop, I'm going to take the flat nose pliers and I'm going to grab a hold here on the end, and I'm going to wrap the wire until it meets my bead. Once it meets the bead, I'll take my cutters, trim the wire as close as I can get it, and then check to see if there's any little part hanging out, and if it is, I'll just take and press it in, so that now I've got this part of the earring done. You'll want to take your ear hook, grab it, and the biggest mistake that I see beaders make is they use their round nose pliers. They stick it inside the loop and they open it outward like this. If you do that, you mess up your pretty little circle. What you want to do is kind of hold it to the side and bend the wire, wherever that is, there we go, straight up towards you. Thread the end chain through the little loop on your ear wire, and then bend it back down to close it so you still have that perfect little loop. And then once you finish, you have the earring. Now if the chain is too long, simply trim the chain down, take it off, trim it down, and then reconnect wherever you would like. And that is how you make the earring. Now I told you I had also made some bracelets. This is one of the bracelets, the original ones that I made. I don't like this bracelet, but my friend recommended I put these pearls in there because she liked the bigger beads with it. So this is using the gray pearls with the blue AB Bicones, and I have the earrings to match this. But the second one that I made the turquoise, and I did two different kinds of beaded beads. I did one that I showed you today, and the other is from the Belle of the Ball bracelet that we had the pattern for at the shop. So as you can see, there's lots of options that you can play with. If you don't want to make a pair of earrings, you can do the bracelet or make a bracelet to match the earrings. So it's completely up to you. But that's just another idea of something that you can do with the beaded bead. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make this beaded bead and these earrings. We do have all 8 color kits available in our Etsy store. The kit is $15. It comes with all your supplies as well as the written pattern for the project. We also have just the written pattern for sale on our Etsy site. You can check us out on Facebook weekly just to see what's going on. If you have any questions about the pattern or any questions at all, you can email me at the address below. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Come back next week. It'll be our last video for the year. We're going to end with a more intermediate project than I would normally do, but I think it's a really fun technique that you need to learn. We're going to be learning some cubic right angle weave, and we're going to be making a really cute necklace. So come back, learn, and then I hope you're getting everything that you need to get done for Christmas. So we'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.